Hi guys, welcome to this session on Microsoft Word. What I want to look at in this module is how to use a table of contents and how to create your own style that will then appear in the table of contents. So first of all, this document on the screen has got heading styles already. If I highlight this one, this is a heading style 1, this one is a heading style 2. These are preset heading styles, which as you can see I've selected, but I've also modified for those of you that have seen styles before. Quite often you get them like this when they first come. If I go into modify, there would be a slightly different size for this heading style 1, and I think it is a different color blue, something like that, maybe not that color blue, and it definitely has spacing before and after. If I click OK to that and give you a bit of an idea, click OK. Normally a heading style would come with something like that, and then heading style 2 would also have its own little features, spacing before and spacing afterwards. Now to get rid of that, it's just the reverse process of what I just did there. So if I just right click, modify, put that back to black, take the I'll leave the bold on, put it back to 12 points and take the spacing off. So in paragraph 0, 0, make sure everything else is how you want it, not double line spacing or anything. OK, OK, and then that takes that off. Now if I want to put a table of contents on this document, I just need to make a space. When I press enter, it's left a blank line there, but that blank line is set to heading style 1. I need to put that back to normal. Now you have to be careful when you're pressing enter where there's heading styles, because you could leave a whole set of blank lines with the heading style 1 in this case set, so every time you type in there it will be a heading style 1, and then that would appear in your table of contents, and you don't really want that. So make sure you tidy things up by putting things back to normal. Now table of contents sits in the reference tab, the first button on the left. Table of contents, you've got several options. I'm just going to pick this option, and then it should drop the table of contents into this document. So you can see the bold are heading 1, and the ones that are slightly indented in are heading 2. Now I've got the navigation pane active on the left hand side there, so that is in the view tab. Tick navigation on, and then this gives you a great feature where you can click on the heading and immediately the document jumps to that heading. So you just navigate through your document very quickly, and you can also do this if you want to move a whole chunk. So let's say I want to move program and all of the contents under that section to follow chapter 1. I don't need to do cut and paste. I can just grab the heading there and pull it down, and it will move everything like that. So I'll just do Control Z undo to put it back, and then you can see that. Now you've also got a little feature once you use heading styles in front of the heading itself, which gives you a little option to collapse down this thing. So you can collapse the whole document down if you want, just to the headings. So if I click on heading 1 and then that one, you just hide in the data basically, and you're going to get this sort of structure that you can see on the left hand side. That's opened it up. So again, it's something to be wary of if you're not used to this, that any of these that have got a little arrow like that means that there is information inside that that's hidden. I think that's it. Yeah, I think we've got it all back now. Now, obviously this gives you the page references, and even though the navigation pane allows you to click quickly through things, there is also options on the actual table of contents to navigate to a particular page. So if I hover there, look, it tells you to hold your control key down, you get a hyperlink to that page, jumps you to that page, and that's great. And then you can come back up to the top on the left hand side there. That's a bit of a legacy from older versions. It's great, but it's not as good as the navigation pane, obviously. Now what happens if you insert extra pages? You have to update your table. So I'm going to do a hard page break at this point. So I'm just going to do Control Enter again and again. So I've given myself a few extra pages, So now all the page numbers are wrong. So what I do is I click into this and I click update table. If you don't get the update table feature, you're probably using an older version of Word. I mean, even this one's not been updated. It's in compatibility mode. It's an old file, but you will get the option on the ribbon to update. So going back to references, update table. Also the F9 function key will also update a table. If I click update there, it's asking me to do the page numbers only, which is what I do need only, because I didn't add an extra heading. If I'd added extra sections, I would have to tick this option, otherwise it wouldn't pick them up. But if I just do this OK now, these page numbers should change, like so. It's changed. So once you've got this on, it's a great little feature. Now, if you want to create your own heading styles rather than the ones that come preset, or you don't want to change the preset ones, you can do that. And I'm just going to quickly show you that to finish off with. So if I just get myself a new document, Control N for new, and then let's just type the word introduction. Let's say that I want this to be bold, italic and red, and I want that to be a style. So I can click on this little option, or I can go into the styles through, it just takes you to the same place. Create a style. I'll call that Steve. Now at the moment it's just going to be a normal style, but I want that to be part of my table of contents. So what I need to do is I need to go into modify, and I need to tell this style to not to follow the normal style, but to follow one of these. I'll pick heading 1. Now heading 1, this is the default that you normally get. I don't want it to be this font, I want it to be that one, and I want it to be 12, and I don't want it italic. I do want it red. Italic off. Now it hasn't got any spaces before or after, so that should be okay, but I'm just checking that down the bottom there. Click OK to that. Okay, I'm blind because it has got spacing. Modify, go back into this paragraph, spacing before, put it to 0. OK, OK. So now that is great. Now you can see the little arrow there, so it does recognize this as a heading style. And if I put that back to normal, because it doesn't click off to back to normal by default, whereas if I just type test and set that to heading style 2, when I press enter after a heading style 2, it automatically goes back to a normal text. So that's a bit of a penalty when you're doing your own style, so it doesn't click back into a normal font. Now if I do another style and don't base it on a heading style, you'll see the difference here. So if I call this testing, and then I do the same thing, I want this to be bold, underlined maybe, and blue, and I'll click on this option this time so you can see it takes you to the same sort of features style. I'll call this Sax, and I won't base it on a preset style. I'll just click OK. So you get it coming up in the styles box at the top, but then this is the difference. So if I come down a line and put that one back to normal, so I've not got a heading style there, and I go back to references and I select table of contents. So I've got test, which is and introduction, the two heading styles. That's the one I did, and that's the heading style I did. But the testing, where it wasn't based on one of the preset heading styles, has not appeared in the table of contents, and it won't do. So you've got to just remember that if you want your table of contents to appear, you've got to base it on one of the heading styles. So I'll just come out of that for a minute. Control W, not saving it. Comes back to this other one. So there you go. That's a quick overview of heading styles. In the next section, I'm going to look at how you can create index references and how you can do cross references and some of the other features that you've got up here. Bibliography we'll have a look at, table of figures, captions, and there's the index, and also table of authorities. So that'll be quite a big section, but hopefully I can see you on the next session, and thank you for your time for this one.